Hey, Aries, Mel, intuitive coach here. Excited to bring in your February 2025 bonus reading. If you're interested in a personal reading, signing up for the monthly newsletter, or entering into the free reading giveaway, you can find all of that information in the description box below the video. All right, welcome, Aries. This is your spiritual reminder reading, whether from your higher self, your own intuition, your guides, ancestors, loved ones. You will be reminded time and time again throughout the next few weeks, throughout the next few months. This is an important reading, is what Spirit is saying here. So do heed the messages, turning that knowledge into wisdom, knowledge into wisdom. So your first reminder here, be proud. It's time, Aries, to celebrate all that you've achieved, all that you are, and all that you will become. Right? The past, present, and future as a whole, it's time to celebrate. Every once in a while, it's important to stop and acknowledge what you've achieved and to be proud. So I feel like some of you, you may not receive that validation from either others or yourself, or it's been a long time since you have felt recognition in a sense. And Spirit is saying, I see you. I recognize you. Yes, it's great to have that external validation, but it's from your own self that's important here. It's time to celebrate that within oneself. And if that's something you've been struggling with, or perhaps you haven't even thought about it, you're like, yeah, I haven't thought about that. I don't want to get in my ego. I don't want to focus just on the achievements, but it's so much more than that. This is about you honoring your existence. The fact that you chose to incarnate into this lifetime, Aries, right here in one of the most pivotal times in history is a huge accomplishment. Pat yourself on the back. Now, of course, there are other things to be proud of here. Let's take a look. What's going on for you? 8 of Swords, that you have worked on that mindset, training the mind. 8 of Swords, specifically when it's in reverse, means you are releasing yourself from old stories. That is something to be proud of. You've retrained your brain. You have overcome some of the darkest, deepest shadows of pain and destruction that perhaps the mind can bring about. You can be free. Make a courageous choice to change your situation. And I feel like you've been gearing up for this. You've been gearing up for trusting in your own intuition, trusting in your own discernment, and allowing yourself to open up to new opportunities and new pathways that aren't based on the old conditioning, old ways of doing things. That is something you should be very proud of. And yes, we do get pulled back into that from time to time. You get pulled back into a thought process, a habit, or a pattern of negative thinking, of old beliefs or conditioning, but you now have a sense of awareness that when that is happening, you're able to stop it in its tracks. You're able to overcome that devil energy, right? Whatever is tempting you to pull you back into bondage, to pull you back into that state of hyper vigilance, right? Fight or flight even. So when you have the 8 of Swords as something to feel proud of, this isn't a joke, right? It's about knowing you are limitless. This is about knowing you have the opportunities to seek out other perspectives. That is a gift of yours. That is a gift. You have 2 major arcanas. You have the Chariot and the Wheel of Fortune. Because you've worked on this 8 of Swords, remember, 8 of Swords is feeling trapped, restricted, helpless, hopeless, whether this was 2 decades ago, whether this was 2 months ago. You're constantly fighting for your health, your spiritual path and mission, for your purpose, for your sense of integrity here. And because you've never given up, I feel like you have the strength, the courage, the bravery to free yourself. You now have the Chariot and the Wheel. A lot of you, this has to do with a karmic pattern or some form of repetition that may have been very challenging for you to stay consistent with or to break out of. Determination and self-control. This is career advancement for some of you. It's acknowledgement of success by others. That's exactly what I said here before these were pulled. Acknowledgement of success. So even though you are giving that to yourself in a sense, perhaps you're seeing it externally where others are acknowledging you for the first time, or perhaps first time in a long time. It feels good and you can be proud of it. It is not coming from a place of ego. It's coming from a place of soul self and honoring your path and your mission. You have the Wheel of Fortune, new beginnings, end of delays, a change in direction that offers happiness. Why? Because there's a perspective here, a shift. This is a turning point. It's also part of your destiny. This renewal, this cycle that you were in, it may have been a karmic or a challenge that your soul meant to go through in order for you to evolve. And I feel like it was a challenging or difficult cycle that you were in. But now looking back, can you see how powerfully courageous, strong, and determined you in fact are? This is beautiful here. So there certainly could be a change in career direction for some of you. This is also about embracing a new mindset that is going to change your world in a huge way. You're going to start to feel different inside, and you will start to see how that shows up in your outer world, because some of you may have felt disconnected from your body, disconnected from others, from society. And I feel like there is a connection with the Chariot, an emotional connection, which is also part of the North Node in Pisces. We have the Chariot energy. What drives the Chariot? Emotion. So you are telling yourself a new story with the mind, but it matches and mirrors your own emotional center, your own intuitive center as well. So now all of those pieces are coming together. That is manifestation at its highest. It's manifesting from a place of love, not a place of fear, because we're constantly manifesting here. So again, be proud. Be proud of all that you've achieved, right? All that you are in this moment and all that you are yet to become. Your next message here, soul power. Always, always remember, Aries, you are a soul that comes with a body, not a body that comes with a soul. Your soul is your true essence, and you have unlimited supply of soul power at your command whenever you need it. It doesn't always feel that way because our body, right? Our body goes through changes. Our body is our intuitive conduit in a sense. Our body is constantly speaking to us, alerting us, cautioning us, letting us know what we need to heal or what we need to move forward in. And I feel like you are healing the body in a sense. You're healing the mind. I'm also getting the Fool card because the Fool is our soul self. It is our potential, our curiosity, our discovery. And you have here the Page of Cups. A new emotional situation. This is about messages as well. Some of you, there's intuitive insights here that you are receiving about your body. You could be asked to eat certain foods, take care of yourself. They're also giving me what you ingest. So this could be through the mouth. It could be through your vision, what you see, the content that you watch, the books that you read, the people that you surround yourself, the foods, again, that you eat. It's what you ingest, what you bring into your energy field is being addressed at this time. You have the Strength card here. The Strength is card 8. You have the 8 of Swords. Here's another 8, the 8 of Wands. Some of you are in an 8 year. Personally, if you add up your birthday, month, and 2025, it may equal 8. If you are in an 8 personal year, this is a year of authority, empowerment, strength, materialism, control, as well as speed and knowing when to move forward and when to trust the flow of slow and steady and finding that balance. Now, the Strength card here says self-confidence, forgiveness, grace through kindness. This has to do with your soul power. Maybe your body is hanging on to some form of trauma or pain that you've gone through. You may be looking at new alternative therapies such as TRE, one of my new favorites, trauma and exercise release, or trauma and release exercise. You may be looking at meditation, hypnotherapy, working with essential oils, whatever you are being called to do in the physical, or whatever tools you are being called to work with. Listen, because I feel like your intuition is very strong at this time, hence the Page of Cups, great intuitive insights. And I feel like there are messages coming in for you, Aries, regarding relationships or social invitations. This is about putting yourself out there. Some of you are being called to learn at this time, learn, be the student. And others of you, you are being called to take what you have learned through your knowledge, through your teachings, through what you've gone through, your own personal experience, and you may be called to teach, to mentor, to coach others at this time. Now, the 8 of Wands here is a great deal of activity. So there could be a lot of mental activity for some of you. For others of you, this is a lot going on in the external. And that's why you have the soul power to remind yourself that no matter what is going on in the external, that you always have that unlimited supply of soul power. So rest, rejuvenate, call in that help, the guidance, the soul power here, because it's at your command whenever you need it. And that's also the essence of the Strength card. This is about facing fears, self-control, overcoming difficulty, having the courage to move forward and not doubt your path, your potential, not to fight or flight, right? Not to avoid or shut down, not to let your defenses come up, but to walk forward with your head held high, with your head held in a proud, right? Proud energy. And I feel like you are moving through life at this time, at times questioning, right? Questioning potential or questioning path. But there's a lot of activity happening here. And I would say within the next 8 weeks, you may see immediate results. You may see important communication. For some of you, you're going to see a whirlwind of activity externally. And that's why discernment and feeling 100% connected to your intuition, because you will need it. So whatever goes on externally or globally, that you're able to tap into that inner soul self, that you're able to not get sucked into the vortex of fear or illusion. Now, your next reminder here is inspired passion. Wands, fire. This is you. Fiery energy here, Aries. Life devoid of passion can be a boring, uninspired, blank canvas that slowly drains the soul. Now is a time to reignite your passions and rejoin life. This is an opportunity to set new goals, which will in turn reconnect you with all that is sacred. So again, Fool energy that I was picking up on can be taking a leap of faith, opening yourself up to a new path, and being proud that you are saying yes to things that may even at times scare you, because it means that you're stepping out of a comfort zone. It means that you are opening up to vulnerability. But I feel like you'll be so, so proud of yourself and grateful even more that you have that strength, that willingness to do so. What do we need to know about the passion? King of Swords, Knight of Swords. Look at all that mental energy here. And the 10 of Pentacles. So this is about acting quickly, right? This can be sudden changes. This also has to do with the mind, communication. I have a feeling this is external because you're showing up as fire here. So there may be some intellect, some external messages, communication. Swords is all about intellect and thought. It's also about decisions, obstacles and the ego. So there could be some news coming in quickly for some of you. The King of Michael, King of Swords, he's very principled, very rational, ambitious, and respected. And I feel like wisdom here. Remember earlier I said turning that knowledge into wisdom. That's exactly what you're doing. The King of Michael here, this could be an aspect of yourself taking action. This could be something externally that comes at you, and you're going to have to use your discernment, your own filter, right? Because everything is filtered through our experience. But then it's important to take that intuitive piece, that emotional piece as well. And how does this feel to us? Does this feel like it resonates with my intuition, with my soul path? And so again, discernment is showing up here. Objectivity are important now. It says stay in your integrity. A situation that calls for honest and open communication. So again, something that rushes in. Use your logic as well. Use discernment, but allow that to filter through the Chariot, because the Chariot is what is going to move you forward. You have that Wheel of Fortune. There's a destined plan here for you. Some sort of a destiny that you are meant to go towards, but maybe the logical mind is saying, wait a second, I don't know if that's my path. So there's a hesitation. There's a second guessing. But I feel like you're not doing that here. That's why this passion piece comes in and says, wait a second. It's time to rejoin life. It is time to set new goals. There's new opportunities that are coming in that are going to connect you, Aries, to all that is sacred. You have the 10 of Pentacles. The 10 of Cups, the 10 of Raphael. Love and blessings fill your life. So again, you have the swords, but it's the 10 cups that you are working towards. Love, blessings, harmonious relationships, family. It is the happily ever after card. Allow your mind to help you get here, but let the heart lead the way. Let the Chariot here, the emotional drive, what feels right with you. Make choices from the heart and let the mind help you get there. That is going to help inspire that passion. Lastly, here we have soul solitude. Your soul needs attention. There are moments when it's important to get away, not just from the noise of the outside world, but to find a place where your soul can experience peace and quiet, a place for soul solitude. This is a time to pause, a time to reflect, a time for you. So if you are feeling called to disconnect, some of you from social media, for others of you, you may be guided to meditate more or kind of pull back from an energy that feels draining, okay? That feels like it's consuming you in some way. Let's take a look. What is going on here with soul solitude? And also, because I see a busyness or an energy of a lot of commotion externally or around you, whether this be things going on in your outer world, your work life, economically, politically, whatever it may be here for you, a lot of activity. I feel like that's again the message of really drawing in that soul power through soul solitude. You have the Page of Swords coming in. There is something new and exciting up ahead, but Spirit wants you to be sure that you are in that mental state of balance, and that you are in a good headspace. Yeah, in a good headspace. This is about truth. It's about perspective. You have the Sun at the bottom of the deck here. This is an exciting challenge ahead. And when you can start to look at opportunities as, exciting, like this is good. I can move out of my comfort zone. I can say yes. When you can give a challenge a wink and say, bring it on. I'm in a good space here where I can deal with the things that are coming in. That's where you want to be. Because that means that no matter what storms come in, that you have the ability to face them. This is about reviewing contracts or documents very thoroughly. You have what it takes to succeed. It all goes back up to this pride, being humble. That's what I'm getting here. It's not about pride and ego per se. It's about humility and staying in that humbled energy. Yes, you may be witnessing other people, their egos at times, and you may even notice your own wounded ego at times that kind of hold one back. And I feel like that's why this is a big energy here for you to ask yourself, wait a second, do I need to rein this in? Do I need to disconnect here? What is triggering me? And really going within and finding ways to face some of these things head on instead of disassociating, disconnecting from the body, which can create dis-ease, manifesting physical symptoms. So it all is coming together in a way where you're able to have awareness of everything, but not in a negative way. This is spiritual awareness versus hypervigilance. It is having that spiritual and innate knowledge to, again, turn that knowledge into wisdom instead of letting the fear succumb and take over. And then we fight, then we flight, right? Then we disassociate. Then we have health issues, health concerns. We tend to withdraw or retract and stay there for quite some time. So this is an exciting challenge that you are facing moving forward with the King of Pentacles and the Sun ahead. I mean, this is beautiful. This is generosity and inspiration. King of Wands. I haven't worked with this deck for a while. I apologize, but the King of Wands here is fire. This is you. This is driven. And it says, keep your eyes on the big picture. Leave the details to others. Experience that leads to success. Again, turning that experience into wisdom. That is what is going to bring that success here. Genuine concern for others. Aries, you do have a genuine concern for others. And because you are embracing your spiritual path and your mission, look what you're heading right into. I am getting riding right into with the Chariot. All right, this is wonderful. Life is wonderful, thriving through the power of positive thinking. It is an inspiring success. The Sun here is also vitality, confidence, playfulness, success, and warmth. This is about you asking, what makes me happy? I'm going to go in the direction here of the Sun. What makes me happy? And then lastly, we have take a moment. Now is not the time to rush into logical imbalance is what I'm getting. So it's not the time to make rash or impulsive decisions. That's why we have the Knight of Swords, the King of Swords rushing in. We have the Page of Swords, the Eight of Swords. It's about finding that space within the mind where you're able to take a step back from the hustle of the mind, right? Or the mental muckery, if you will. The Eight of Swords. And it says you can be free. Make a courageous choice to change the situation. And if you're not seeing things clearly, do not make a choice while things are jarbled up. That's where you have the soul solitude coming in here. Before an important decision is made, take a moment to pause and quiet the mind so that you can ask your soul for guidance before you act or move forward. Let's clarify here. So we see a bit of a pause. This could be reflected out into your career, a relationship, your health. And I feel like you may, in the past, have acted out of fear. You may have said, I need to do this. That's the only option, right? I need to do this. You may have felt forced. You may have felt coerced, manipulated in some way. But I feel like you're in a good space here, a good headspace. You have a lot of that king energy. You have the King of Wands, King of Swords, and the Ten of Wands. Ask your angels for helpful people to lighten your load, working too many hours, trying too hard to please others. This is a time where you're meant to take a look at yourself. Are you taking care of you? Ten of Wands is about prioritizing. It's responsibilities. Yes, we all have. But if you tend to keep compiling, keep adding to that priority list, you're going to feel overwhelmed. You're going to feel burnt out. It is important to either seek help, unburden, or remove some of those things on the priority list that aren't a top 3, and work specifically on those. Perhaps it's health, perhaps it's financial stability, perhaps it's emotional balance, whatever it is for you, and dedicate your focus on those 3 things. But take a moment, because when we feel scattered, we grab 20 different things and we put them on that list, and we feel overwhelmed, burdened. And because you are in a better state of mind here, you have the ability to set goals, to conquer them, to achieve them, to move forward in them with that Chariot. This is about direction with a sense of control versus lack of direction. Impulsiveness and even selfishness can be the Chariot in reverse. And what happens when we fall into that trap? This could even be people that you are around. They can be impulsive. They can lack direction. They can be selfish. You may be seeing that here, and that may be causing you to retract, step back, because perhaps that's draining you. That's exhausting. And lastly here, we have the Page of Pentacles. So when you take a moment, you're able to see something from a new perspective. You're able to reach back into that unlimited well that the Soul Power card talks about. This is about that unlimited supply, right? That's at your command whenever you need it. And by taking a little bit of a step back, reprioritizing, regaining your sense of equilibrium, you have the Page of Pentacles, who is reliable, clever, educated, and balanced. There's an excellent opportunity here, Aries. It will be offered to you. This could be scholarships, the pursuit of education. This may even be a message regarding a tax rebate, a check, an investment, a job, a financial win. But it's important for you to reflect on some of these commitments of yours. Consider an additional path. And the biggest message is stay loyal to you. Stay loyal to yourself. Because even if we feel like we have to stay loyal to, our children and our, family and our spouse, and yes, absolutely. But if you are not loyal to yourself, all of those other things that reach out, that touch different aspects of other lives, of what's going on around us, it will be tainted in a way where we manifest from a lie, illusion, or denial. So in order for you to hold on to those bonds, strengthen those bonds, you first have to be loyal to you. As they say, put on your own life mask in the plane. You've heard it, right? Instead of immediately bringing it down and putting it on your child, what good is that if you are not taking care of you? And I see here that there is something beautiful coming in. You have the sun, you have the chariot, you have the 10 of cups, blessings. And it's important that you stay true to your path and to be proud of all that you are, all that you have achieved here, not just physically. We look at achievements in a physical sense, right? I've achieved this physically or health-wise, I'm in good shape. But what about, the spiritual? What about the divine feminine within us all? Male or female, we all have masculine and feminine, and that masculine is the external of what we've achieved, and the Empress energy, the feminine, is, internal. It's overcoming or embracing, in a sense, the spiritual, intuitive, emotional parts of us. So be proud of all of it, because all of it makes you you. That is what I have for you, Aries. If this resonates, please hit that thumbs up button. Feel free to share, like, subscribe, and hit that bell. Thank you again for tuning in. Lots of love.